Red Dust. Part 4, Visitors, by Brad Tattle. With help from ChatGPT. Chapter 12. From Deep Space.
Far beyond the whisper of the sun's gravity, where light itself had thinned into cold mathematics, the Ashiec-tuen-Kai moved through the dark. They were not a young species. Their ships were not built but grown from quantum-resonant matrices that drifted through folded space like seeds in a cosmic tide. For millennia they had traveled between star systems. Their species' particular role in the universe, among other alien species, was neither conquerors nor colonists, but watchers, guardians of boundaries written long before their histories began. On this day, or rather, this rotation of thought through the timeless flow, they emerged from folded space, just in time to intercept a mysterious signal. The pulse was faint, but pure, coded into the line frequency of hydrogen multiplied by pi. Although hydrogen was the most abundant substance in the natural universe, and thus transmissions at that frequency alone had uncertain origins, multiplying its frequency by pi produced a frequency that was certain to have originated from an unnatural, that is, intelligent, source. It is the universally accepted frequency to call, "Is anyone out there listening?" The transmission came from a red planet, orbiting a small yellow star catalogued by their archives as Sol. It was directed toward another red world, tremendously far away, the home system to a civilization long extinct. Commander Archelia Vaughn of the Ashiec-tuen-Kai frowned, all the closest thing her kind had to frowning. The Sol system had been sealed for 5 billion standard cycles. No contact. No entry. The reason was ancient, but the prohibition was absolute. Yet the signal was real, coherent, and recent. Vaughn summoned her executive command, their presence shimmering across the ship's bridge as bands of light and thought intertwined. The decision came slowly but resolutely. The ship would divert toward the periphery of the Sol system, concealing itself within the Oort cloud, a shell of icy debris that circled the distant sun, like a forgotten promise. From there, they would send probes disguised to appear as interstellar objects. One doesn't just waltz into a forbidden zone and say hello. The first probe took form as a cigar-shaped sliver of alloy, disguised as an asteroid. It slipped silently into the solar system, weaving among the outer planets. It had no visible tail, no dust or coma, and was reddish in color, like outer solar system bodies. Its task was simple but delicate, to scan for unnatural radio signatures, those rhythmic pulses of intelligence that no natural process could imitate. The probe listened across frequencies and subharmonics, both below and above the human visible light spectrum, mapping whispers of transmission. What it found was staggering. The inner system was alive with chatter, structured bursts, encrypted bands, harmonics across microwave and optical spectra. A civilization young but restless, balanced precariously on the edge of interstellar infancy. The data alone warranted caution, but mission overruled caution. A second probe followed, cloaked as a comet, complete with tail and slightly blue color. Its icy shell, with its strong H2O activity, masked the sensors within. It traced the vector of the original hydrogen pi signal, and confirmed what the first could not, that the transmission had verifiably originated from Mars, a red planet now bearing faint electromagnetic marks of industry and life. The Ashiec-tuen-Kai felt anxious, and so the third probe was smaller, but hid inside an enormous coma, going much faster. It abandoned pretense so that its disguise was thin, a fractured planetoid skimming dangerously close to Mars and past two other worlds. It recorded geometry where randomness should reign, domes, lattices, straight lines where none belonged. Artificial, intentional, alive. When the third probe returned its data to the command vessel, the Council of Officers met in the Great Resonance Chamber. There were those who argued for prolonged vigilance, that the system should remain quarantined as standard protocol demanded. Others asserted that to ignore the clear evidence of robust and accelerating intelligence was to risk letting another civilization rise without understanding its nature. Commander Archelia Vaughan listened until all had spoken. Then she spoke once. "We need more information," she said, "and we need it quickly and first-hand." And so, with that goal in mind, the Ashiec-tuen-Kai vessel prepared for a first-hand encounter with Mars. With engines that hummed in the language of quantum dimensions, the ship began its descent toward the solar system. Not as an alien spacefaring vessel, but cloaked as a rogue planet drifting through the immensity of space. A planet somehow detached from its parent star and left to wander aimlessly in the cosmic void. Earth telescopes had detected rogue planets before, but never had one been observed heading towards the solar system. Metal, dust, and chemical signatures, as well as shapes and topology, gave every appearance of a small planet coming from a far distant place in the universe. The Ashiec-tuen-Kai had done this before. Its trajectory would bring it dangerously close to Mars. So close, in fact, that Martian gravity would interact with the alien vessel's artificial gravity, created by its cloaking mechanics. Any intelligent species would panic at the results. But not exactly planned. This time, Ashiec-tuen-Kai's path would serendipitously bring the vessel close to the third planet orbiting the Sun. Up to this point, Earth was not within their field of interest, and in fact had been opposite the Sun when the third probe had flown close to Mars. Nevertheless, and not yet known to Mars and Earth, the Ashiec-tuen-Kai was coming.